We're going to take We're good. Go ahead.
All right, folks, good. Can I have your attention, please? Can everybody be seated, please? Good morning, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? Huh? Thank you. I just said thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to call the meeting to order. And would you please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome.
Can you use the mic?
You can't hear me?
That's right. In the back.
Can you guys hear me in the back? You guys fine? Everybody can hear me? Thank you. First of all, welcome to those who are here in the community center as well as those watching on YouTube. For those who are new, my name is Tom Harmon. I have the pleasure of being the president of the board of directors. And this is our second quarterly meeting of the year for 2025. It's, in my opinion, a very positive note going forward. What this board has done, I'm very proud of what has transpired to date and what we look like in the future. As you can see, this is our agenda that we'll go through today. Of course, talking about our priorities in 2025 as far as lake restoration, road reconstruction, and communications. Joe will kick us off with talking about financials, our budget for 2025, and our first quarter results. And also a key chart that's going to be in the brief is our review of our reserves and planning for the future. That is one of our jobs as this board to help future boards succeed in building those reserves, which quite frankly, 7 years ago, when my wife and I were here, it was just starting to get started with a really focus by Scott Rockefeller, and then followed on by what Joe and Tom Olerup has done with their backgrounds in corporate finance as senior executives in their respective workplaces. We have come to a really fantastic place going forward. We'll be followed there. Joe will talk about lake restoration, followed by Tom Olerup will be doing some road reconstruction update. Another great good news story there. In terms of care, Bob Dixon, along with the new speaker, Bev Campbell, will be talking about our Neighborhood Watch update, which really answers several emails that I've been receiving relative to what are we doing to protect the safety and well-being of everybody that's here. Gary will give us a communication update, Gary Weber, and then we'll have the pleasure of hearing from all the club presidents today in terms of updates, what are we rolling out for our year of fun and excitement. So Nancy will be talking from a Booster Club, Lou from the Ladies Auxiliary, and then Jim from the Men's Club. Then we'll have a wrap-up and questions. I will read where we currently stand relative to a litigation scenario that's going on, and then we'll adjourn. So with that, I'll hand the floor over to Joe.
All right, thanks everybody. So real quick update here on financials. We've been posting the financials every month on the website. Every quarter I give a little bit more detail on what's going on regarding collections and expenses as well. In the off months, you'll just see a posting out there with the updated one-pager of expenses year to date. But where we're at so far, we've collected 85% of our dues through 3/31. This changes every day as people come in and pay their dues or get their boat stickers, etc. Our budget for the year is $525,000, and the breakdown is on this page here. Over half of our expenses here in the association are related to the people that we have to provide maintenance and the services at the front with respect to the office and our security details. So about $278,000 budgeted for that. We're right on track. We will spend a little bit more in the summer months as we bring on additional help, particularly with respect to rules enforcement. All other line items through the first quarter, nothing concerning so far. We do have on the maintenance side and shop supplies, etc. We are about 28% of the budget. You'd expect through the first quarter everything to line up nicely and be about 25%, but we did have some expenses for salt and some of the things that we needed to repair with respect to our snow removal equipment. So that's the story there as far as where we're at on the budget, and we're doing pretty well with respect to where we would like to be at this point of the year. We have already funded the reserves, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit on the next page, but because we did have some excess cash from 2024's fiscal year, we did roll that into our community reserve CD already, and that's accruing interest at Sullivan Bay. So the next slide, I just want to talk about reserves and planning for the future here at the lake. So on the left side, and some of these numbers probably look really small for folks that are in the back, but the headline at the top is what we have in reserve right now for our road reconstruction efforts. And Tom's going to talk about the plan for that. We'll be deploying the majority of the cash that is in reserves for our phase one effort later this year. But we do have, we're not just letting this money sit in a savings account, it is accruing interest at about 3.85% between three CDs that we have. As we've collected the road money starting in November in preparation for phase one, we've deployed that into CDs to help earn a little bit of additional interest for the community. On the right side of the page are all of our other restricted reserves and where we're at today. So we have about $125,000 in our lake restoration reserve that can be deployed specifically and only for lake efforts. This is made up of from prior year dock lease income, which had been voted on by the board to be deployed specifically for lake restoration for years 2021 through 2025, and the increased boat sticker fees. So as boat stickers are purchased this year, additional dollars will be in that allocated to that restricted lake restoration fund to support those efforts, which Tom is also going to talk about here after I'm done. We have a truck reserve for $10,000, which was a donation at the end of 2024 from the Booster Club. And then we have our dam reserve, which is mandated by the DNR, just in case something happens to our dam. This has grown from about $150,000 when I started on the board. And we haven't added any money to this. We are just rolling a CD at Sullivan Bank, and we expect that will generate about $6,000 in earnings within the year 2025. And then finally is our community reserve. So Tom alluded at the beginning, this was an initiative that the board, I think in 2018 or 2019 started, and we had very little in community reserves for the proverbial rainy day. And so we started putting $20,000 a year into this community reserve, and we've been fortunate to be able to add a little bit more to that over the years. The standard from CAI is really to have 1 year of operating reserve. So I mentioned on the last page, $525,000. We should have about $525,000 in a community reserve account if we were going to be, at that CAI standard for our reserve. So we're about halfway there. We're making good progress, but we need to continue to build that fund in case we do have an event that will require significant investment. And so we've made great progress there. Our goal and our plans as the board, we've got to build the strategic plan that goes out 5, 10, 15 years and make sure that we are able not just to fund the maintenance needs, but also all the other projects that need to be funded here to make sure that we are keeping up with the community. We have for far too long here relied on the generous donations of folks, and that's just been someone writing a check when we needed a piece of equipment or something like that, and we'd like to get to a place where we no longer need to do that within the community. So that's my spiel. I will turn it over to Tomo to talk a little bit about lake restoration.
Good job. Very good. Good job.
No, you're not.
Lake restoration. When we talked last time, we were all waiting for Dr. JJ's report on the water quality samples we took last fall. We've got that report in. It's very, very lengthy and quite honestly gives me a headache reading it. The big thing coming out of it, the primary concern is high phosphate levels. And we've got several approaches to deal with that. We've shared the report with many, many vendors. We've talked primarily with 4 of them that are nationwide vendors with local presence. They all agree that with Dr. JJ's assessment that it's a high phosphate level. The problem is they've all got a different, very, very expensive solution for that. There's no shortage of ideas. It's just a matter of having money. We're still looking at what to do. We're engaging with Dr. Rebecca North, who's a limnologist from the University of Missouri, who's very familiar with lakes like ours in the state of Missouri, which is a good thing. And she's working on a proposal to do a research project here with her grad students and really give an independent view of what the needs of the lake are. So we're waiting for her to give that proposal to us. We're also engaging with the Missouri Department of Conservation for natural recommendations to help the ecology in general, aquatic plants, what fish do we stock, and things like that. We're going to continue the aeration system because there's pretty good consensus that that's been beneficial. And we're going to continue with testing and monitoring of the lakes because that's really the important thing, to see that it doesn't take a turn for the worst. What's important to know out of this, with all the differing opinions on treatments, the consensus of everybody, even the people that want to take our money, the lake is not in imminent danger of going toxic or dying this summer, so don't go sell your houses because you think we're not doing enough to take care of the lake. We do need to address some things, but it's not, we have the time to make the right decision, I guess is what I'm saying. We don't want to just go throw money at a problem without really understanding what the issue is, and that's what we're working on doing. So I ask for your patience in dealing with that. The other thing that comes up once in a while with the lake is the occasional blue-green scum that's on the lake. And I know everybody gets pretty concerned about whether that's toxic or not. And the answer to that is maybe. It might be, it might not be. It's not necessarily toxic. I've talked to several people about solutions for that and what you do with it. And even the people that take care of that for a living recommend that we not do anything given the infrequency and the small amounts of it we had. How you deal with that is you spray it with a very toxic algicide or chemical to make that go away, and that does bad things for the lake in general. You use that on lakes or ponds where they're completely covered. The recommendation is if you see that, don't swim in it. It'll go away in a couple of days and you just shouldn't worry about it. And anyway, in conclusion, we're fine. Be patient, please. We're working on it. A lot of people are spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to do with it. And we will continue to make this the best place to be in our lives for years to come.
Thank you.
Darrell.
I just had a quick question. I was wondering if, you're saying aeration is good, and honestly, I didn't see that all the lake is aerated, but I know that Cove 7 is no longer being aerated, and I wasn't sure whether that was like a breakdown, or the fact that Mr. Schwartz is putting his house on the market, and that's going to be someone else's challenge.
Primarily, it's not being aerated because over the winter, we've got a lot of the diffusers that have moved to bad places. A couple of them on Cove 7 have moved underneath somebody's dock. And so we shut it off until we get a chance, now that the weather's broken, to move that back out. As far as your question about the one compressors on Mike Schwartz's property, it's for sale. We are moving it farther down upstream to the association-owned lot there at the boat ramp. And I believe you guys are going to work on that this week to get that moved up there. And at that same time, they'll turn the compressors back on. But, you know, if anybody notices one that should have been there or used to be there and it isn't there, send me an email or get with TJ and let him know, because we know we have a lot of them dragged and put back in place over the winter. They just move.
Another question?
What does high phosphate levels mean?
Now, I'm not a chemist, but you know, the phosphate's a chemical that's in the water. It can come from a couple different sources. Runoff from upstream, whatever the farmers are putting on the fields can run down. What you put in your yard can run down. And it, quite honestly, with a 60-year-old lake, can be coming up from all the stuff that's accumulated, the organic stuff that's accumulated over the years in the bottom of the lake. What that phosphate does is it feeds algae. And that's the concern. If there's too much of it, the algae has too much to eat and gets out of control. It's high. It qualifies above a line that says you ought to be concerned about it. But honestly, we've had people that, you know, one of the guys that was out here taking samples and wants to sell us a solution said, you know, it's not the worst he's seen. I mean, it's not that high. It's high enough you need to take care of it, but high enough you don't need to be concerned. Overly concerned.
Yeah, question.
So my question was about that also, that encouraging people or putting something out to say, hey, we all like really lush grass, but would it be helpful if people didn't fertilize, didn't use herbicide? Is that like a drop in the bucket compared to what comes?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
It's a drop in the bucket.
How's that for an answer?
We don't know.
Well, no. I mean, every little bit goes against what we're doing.
Right.
Does what you put in your yard make a big difference? Not compared to the 9,200 acres of farmland we have upstream, but you know, you got to use your own conscience.
Conscious, okay.
I mean, my wife doesn't let me fertilize anymore because it's bad for the birds, so I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
That research project, who's funding that? Are they having a grant from somewhere, or do they want us to fund it?
We will probably have to fund it. There aren't any grants, but she's working to see what she can find through the university and other sources, and we haven't got back to that yet. Good question, though. All right? Rex?
Thank you, Tom.
This is the easier one because there is some clear solutions to this. As we've talked for the last 6 months, we've got a $2.5 million assessment passed last fall with $500,000 a year. We are going to repave every road with the exception of Big Bear, which is you know, I don't know if you know where Big Bear is, it's off on the far west side that gets no traffic. We're going to do a modified, what we call a modified seal coat program. Crawford County does that a lot on their roads, where essentially they come through and blade up the shoulders and get the road squared away, put gravel down, compact it heavily, and then put seal coat on top of it. We went out for bids last month. We've got the bids back. The committee, Mary Beth, John Howard, and I have gone, and Tom Harmon have met with the engineer. We've gone through the bids. We've got some questions about what some of the bids mean. We're meeting with one of the contractors next week to get some clarity. I hope that in the next couple of weeks we've got those finalized. We need to have the contract reviewed by the attorney and approved by the board. I hope to have that done in the next 2 weeks, and the plan is to start paving middle of the summer. We're going to start on the west side at the bridge and work our way this way.
The dam.
I'm sorry, the dam. Start on the west side of the dam and work our way forward. We decided to go with that because then we're not running all the heavy equipment over brand new roads. And we're probably going to get between 3 and 5 miles done, depending on how much, how we work the bids out and contracts out and how much money we have. They're going to work in the contract, since it's summer and we're busy. Summer's a great time to do this kind of work because it's hot and it packs down well. But it's also when we're busy here. So the contract's going to call for the contractors to work Monday through noon on Friday. And they won't be able to work afternoon on Friday or the weekends while we have all the weekend traffic here. Any questions?
I got a few.
God, Bob.
First of all, I think you did mention at the last meeting, they're going to cut down the shoulders to get the water off the road into the...
Yeah. The whole thing is creating a profile. Whether they cut the shoulders down or build the roads up is a case-by-case
To get
basis.
the water off the road.
That's the main thing, is get water off the
Both
road.
engineering studies said that was critical.
Absolutely.
Okay, this enhanced chip and seal. My understanding, you're going to repair any of the sections that are bad right now. There's a lot of potholes and really damaged areas. You're just not going to chip over that, are you?
Correct. No, we're going to repair it.
How long is this enhanced chip and seal going to last? Did they give you an idea?
5 to 7 years.
Okay.
But then, Bob, it's got to have ongoing maintenance.
Right.
Then, in the 7 years, it's not going to require a complete reconstruction.
No.
My hope is when I'm gone from this project and the board in 5 to 7 years, because let me tell you, there ain't no way I'm doing it that much longer. I'm not dumb like you and Grady were.
12, I think.
My hope,
13, an unlucky number.
my hope for the community is that the future board engages in a program to continue to upgrade it, to repair it, to resurface it every 7 years, and then it won't be a problem. And it's a
Right.
lot cheaper just to go through in 7 years and top it off than it is to do what we're going to do now.
Yeah, maintenance of the enhanced chip and seal is critical to keep it, to make
Absolutely.
that 5, 7 years and then beyond.
Yes.
And in getting the shoulders graded down and repairing the major road defects,
Yep.
instead of just chip and seal over it, because that won't last.
Yep.
Right.
So
Exactly.
this might work.
Well, I mean, the other thing,
It's going to work.
the other thing about it, Bob, is that that's what the roads are now.
Yeah, I know, oh, yeah.
And if you look at the areas where we haven't torn it up to put a culvert in or fix a water leak, and the water has drained off appropriately in the ditches, like going from here towards the bridge,
So those,
it's not that bad a road.
that's a good section, that's the only good section of road out
All
here.
the streets in Keene.
So it's a good solution. We just have to, as a community in the future, maintain it.
People just realize water's tending to the shoulder.
Behind you, Bob.
I think there's security issues, of course, and logistics, but is there a chance you're going to try to do a construction entrance for?
We talked about that, but staffing it and working around the
Yeah.
contractor's hours just becomes more costly than
Right.
it's worth. We have to staff somebody there.
Yeah.
Well, then that means you basically be doing Indian Hills Drive at the last, so you won't
Yes,
be driving
sir.
any, okay.
Yeah. That was the decision, part of the decision process to start over on the backside.
Yeah.
Let's leave that quick one second. One more.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, as far as I understand, a lot of the damage that's been done to the roads is because of having the water mains under the road beds,
Yes.
and we have a lot of leaks.
Well, the leaks, yeah, not the
Yeah.
mains themselves, but the leaks.
Right. So I assume that that's not going to just fix itself, so there's going to be more leaks in the future, and we're putting a lot of money into this. How are we handling, who's going to handle the cost of repairs?
The water company. They've been very good the last, what, Joe, 3 years, 4 years, we've been working with them. Since it's the new water company that we've got that raised our rates considerably.
Sure.
That,
They brought them down.
Huh? They did bring them down. But they're not, what, $7 a quarter like they used to be. They're very good. We just send them a bill.
Okay.
And we patch them, we send them a bill. One of the things we're gonna have to learn how to do and maybe buy a piece of equipment or two for the maintenance department is how to appropriately repair this chip and seal process, but that's on the normal budget. That's not gonna come out of the road fund. But yeah, the water company's been very good about repairing it. We've talked to them about, coming through and completely redoing it, and that's just not a feasible solution.
We've got about $25,000 in reimbursements from them over the last 4 years, so.
That's not bad.
How many miles do we have to pave in here?
15. Debbie,
I have two questions.
you only get one, you've already had it.
I have two more.
Okay.
So, living on the east side of the lake, we're gonna have to wait 5 to 7 years for our road, which is almost impassable now, to get fixed?
I don't have an answer for that because I don't know what next year's plan is.
Okay.
I really hope the way we're going, don't hold me to this, please. I really hope in 3 years we're done. I think we can work ahead with the money we're making off of interest in the bank, off of the people. By the way, thank you to all the people that have paid the full $2,500 already. That goes a long way. But I really hope, Joe, I think we can do it in 3 years, the way we can get close.
Debbie, it's really going to depend on how much we collect. We're going to invoice in the fall for the next year. And, we're not going to get the same amount that we did this year because we had about 65 people who paid in full already. So it really just depends on what we end up collecting and then what the average cost per mile is. So I'm optimistic 3, but it depends on how the collections roll in and what on the other side of it, what the costs do, right?
Yeah, what inflation does.
So is it possible that they could be out of money by the time it's supposed to be out?
No, we're going to do everything we
I don't
can.
foresee that scenario
Yeah.
based on the cost per mile that we're looking at. My hope is that we actually end up at the end of this with everyone's interpretation of healthy is different, but a relatively healthy road reserve so that when we have to do the aforementioned every 7 years maintenance, and we're doing a couple miles every year, and we've got a fund there to support that work.
Okay. Well, so then, in regard to the water company fixing the roads, I had to tell you, they've got 2 on Lakeside. The one by our house has been almost a year, and nothing's been done, and it just,
Yeah, I know, we ran out of working weather, Debbie, before we got to that one up there, and the asphalt plant shut down. But it is on the list to come take care of this spring.
Okay,
And we're very dependent on the weather.
okay.
What's the average estimated cost per mile to do this?
That's a good question. That's one of the things we're talking about. Probably, overall, it's different because the secondary roads aren't nearly as wide as the primary roads, but I think we're looking at an average of $147,000. Bob?
My understanding, you're also going to have Cochran provide project management to ensure that contractors adhering to the specs.
Yeah, an inspection, yes.
Okay.
They've already been hired. They've been helping.
Yeah, we've been
this
working with, they
process.
wrote the bid specs.
I do that, and
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, they're on board.
Good.
Just on a more tactical level, when they do your section, whatever that section is it going to be inaccessible for a period of time and guesstimate on what that is? Is it like a week, a month?
No. The most it would be a day.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna move that fast. It's not like a, concrete paving of a road where they dig up 2 miles and it takes them 3 weeks to get through and fix it. They pretty much move and it's finished, move and it's finished. I mean, they're telling us that you might be inconvenienced for a day, but it shouldn't be that bad.
Will we get some kind of notice?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
There will be daily communications
Yeah.
relative to that, yes.
Who's gonna be impacted
Right.
in the next few days?
Correct.
Jim?
You got up there 141 members that have not paid anything. Is this gonna be like the road, or the lake restoration, where they're gonna get a free ride if they
No,
don't pay?
no, this is gonna be like the bridge assessment where everybody's paid. Took a few years, but everybody paid.
So how's the board gonna do that? Get them to pay? You gonna take them to court?
We did phase 1 2 weeks ago. We sent out 141 letters to members who have not paid. We know that they got the letters because of some of the voicemails left on Michelle's. June, we're going to be announcing soon that June 1st, anybody who hasn't paid the roads assessment will be a member not in good standing. We have, in the letter, we have legal precedent similar to what we did with the bridge to go after them. That needs to take some time to be able to do that, so.
In the
as we-
meantime, anyone who hasn't paid the assessment cannot get boat stickers, so that's one of the mechanisms as well, from an enforcement perspective. You can't get your boat stickers if you haven't paid your assessment.
No free rides, but it might take a while.
Yeah, good, thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thanks,
So many
Jim.
details on the 141, is it majority of those people, just people that own a vacant lot? that use it?
No, you'd be surprised. It's a
split.
It's to be in the
Mix.
Yeah.
Good mix.
And we're very hopeful that it's just time of year. The weekenders for the summer haven't figured out that there's a lake here yet this year. And, when you show up in the next month or so and pay your boat boat sticker fees, you'll figure out you owe money, and people will pay. We get a lot of money in the month of May.
Right.
Yes, sir.
In years past, there was a study done and there was a lot of talk about culverts.
Yep.
Are culverts gonna be addressed at all?
We're addressing them as we go. The problem with the culvert study, it was to replace all the culverts that the engineers thought we should replace was more money than the road project itself. There's a lot of culverts out there that need to be replaced according to the engineers, but they're still functioning. And, to spend $50,000 on a culvert that needs to be replaced because it's rusted out, but it's still functioning, does not make sense for us with the money that we have. Almost all of them, the maintenance crew can replace as we go. One of the nice thing about this enhanced chip and seal is if we do have to replace one where the road's already been done, it's real easy to patch over it and make it look seamless versus an asphalt or a concrete section of road.
Are you talking our culverts or members' culverts?
Both. And the members' culverts, we're dealing with members' culvert primarily where it goes under your driveway. We're dealing with those on a one-on-one basis. And we have a couple that we have to address.
Is the members culvert in the bylaws their own cost?
Yes.
To
Yes.
fix? It's not the
Yes.
association?
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Slow truck, there's been a lake. Just make sure the grass.
Good morning. Not going to spend too much time on CARE, so I want to leave time for Bev to talk about our neighborhood watch update. But just to remind everybody, our CARE organization Very clear community objectives for security function. We've heard it. You want us to consistently enforce our rules and regulations, to apply them without bias based upon facts, not emotion, and to provide a robust appeal process to ensure broad board discussions for decisions that need to be made. One of the issues that continually has come up over the past number of years has been speeding. As you might recall, we invested in a radar gun last year. We have been using that on hot spots, and I think we've had great results, primarily because people know we're out doing that. That in and of itself has deterred people. We're now ready to use that on the water, for the same reason. It's taken us a while to figure out the process. It's a little harder to use the radar gun when your boat's bobbing up and down and trying to lock into another boat bobbing up and down. So instead of a one-man operation, it's kind of a two-man operation, but we're ready to get that going. And again, we hope that, our hope is that it works so well that we never have to write a citation to anybody, that people know we're serious about controlling speeding on our lake, and that that in and of itself helps. There are a couple things that we have sent narratives out to the community, communications. Once the vegetation starts to grow back this spring, we will be taking an inventory of those safety road signs where the visibility is compromised by the vegetation, and maintenance will go out and trim that vegetation back. We're not going to impede upon private property if this is all within the easement. All the debris will be picked up by maintenance, so forth and so on, but that will improve our safety, I'm sure. We have put in addition a lot of new signs, over a dozen speed limit signs, and various slow down, dangerous curve signs, so we want to make sure that they stay very visible. We're also working on dock identification. You may recall last year we spent a lot of time doing that, sent out an awful lot of letters to people that were not compliant with the identification rules and regulations. We still have about a dozen private docks that are not properly identified, and we will be soon in the process of letting them know that they're yet in compliance. The second phase that we're going to work on this year is part of rule number, section 19 of our rules and regulations relative to private docks, is that identification should be easily visible to Water Patrol. We will be taking inventory of those that we feel are not very visible, and that's probably due to age. For example, perhaps I've painted my numbers on my dock, and over the years that paint has faded or chipped away or whatever it may be. And I may not even know it because I don't particularly look at that. So we're going to do that in a very polite way to remind people. And then if we don't get corrective action, then we will be forced into the citation process. But hopefully everybody that's alerted will rectify the situation quickly. The last thing I want to say is last Labor Day, we asked the community for volunteers to help us man the front gate in case there was a gate malfunction or in case there was just the beginning of a dangerous backup on Highway DD. That's the primary thing we want to avoid when we have a lot of cars coming in, especially guests. So we're going to be asking for volunteers to help us about 90-minute shifts or so on Memorial Day weekend. If you're interested in that, please give me a call or email, and I'll tell you what slots are open. Some have already been taken by volunteers, and I know many of you in this room helped us with volunteerism last year. So we appreciate consideration in advance. That's it for me, unless, yes?
I just have a question. So
Yeah.
you're going to be doing the speeding on the lake. Do you also do breathalyzer for alcohol and operating boats under the influence?
We do not, no, do not. Yes?
So you're monitoring speed on the roadways on the lake. Can you tell us where you all, the care committee, have designated that are high-risk areas or areas that you need to pay more close attention?
It moves around, but I'll tell you, the one that we commonly get is going up the exit road, especially right around work time, that maybe people are speeding a little bit to hurry up and get to work. What we have found is that people aren't speeding as much as maybe we think. That 30 miles an hour looks a lot faster than it really is. And we've done a lot of work to test and verify our radar guns, so we're quite confident in the accuracy. But we rely upon members to tell us where they think we should go out and look, and we do.
Is there any chance that we could drop it from 30 to 25? Would that make a difference?
It's already, they're not going to listen to 25.
I mean, that's something for the community to consider with a, bylaw change. But it would take a bylaw change. I'll come right here, then I'll come back to you.
The bigger problem than speeding is on certain curves on Lakeshore Drive, on the east side of the lake, people are coming around those curves on the wrong side of the damn road.
Right.
And more than 10 times in the past year, I've had to go into the ditch to avoid them.
And hopefully when the road's nice all the way across.
You know what? I don't think that's gonna matter the way these people are driving.
Half the time, it's because people are driving in the middle of the road, so they don't
Because
turn their
they're
car
missing.
on.
Do it all the time.
Well, if you slow down, the potholes aren't so bad.
We had a question in the back there.
Does anyone address boats coming too close to the docks?
We have a rule and regulation for that, and our water patrol is aware of that and will cite when they think that's being violated. But yes, there is a clearance between dock and boating.
100 feet. It's 100 feet.
It's 100 feet between the shore and the boat.
100 feet.
Okay.
That's from the dock, from the end of the
Yeah,
dock.
edge of the dock to the
From the
Not
shore.
for fishing though, right?
No.
Not per Missouri state law, it's a dock.
It is the dock.
Mr. Mayor. Yes, sir.
If you remember years ago, for us old timers, years ago, we had a striper that put a line down the road. I wonder whatever happened to that striper. There was
Like
like,
the one that you guys went out when you were drunk?
The one we had to walk across.
I mean, it is on the committee, we have talked about it, and maybe we don't stripe the whole road, but it would be nice on the
Yes.
curves
Yes.
to put a nice yellow stripe down the middle of the curve, and we're looking at that.
do we still have that machine? That was probably 30 years ago.
Was it really a machine, or was it a riding lawnmower with a chain?
Riding lawnmower
I'll
with a
tell you
spray
how it
can
was
on the
done.
side.
It was done by Kevin driving the Kubota trailer, and he had a guy sitting on the trailer in the back, going down the road and spraying.
I think
That's why it bleeds all around.
all right.
Thank you for your questions. Bev, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, great. Before I start, I just want to say, I know we've given our thanks to everybody on the board here as they've done their bit, but I don't know about you, but their last couple of years have been extremely tough, and I really think they need our appreciation shown on what they have done and got us to today. So if you would, please. Well, I'm here, excited to be here to introduce the new Neighborhood Watch program. We did put something out in the last signal regarding this, but I just want to update you where we are now. It's been a program that has started several years ago, and it started, stopped, and that's mainly because the uniqueness of this community. It's not straightforward like most other communities can be. So when I was approached and asked if I would be interested in taking this on, I said yes, but we need a more organized structure. So with Bob Dixon and I came up with the advisory council. So you can see up here on the board, we're still working with the Sheriff's Department. We've got the Neighborhood Watch Coordinator, and then we have the advisory board. And that's me at the top. Then we have Jim Burleson, and I think you all know him. We invited him because of his legal background. Then we have Gary Weber. He is on the advisory committee, not as a board member per se, but because he does the communication in our community, so we thought it was beneficial to have him on the board. Bob Dixon, for the same reason, he's with the chair of the care committee, and we don't want to do anything against what they're trying to do. So we invited him. And then Austin Turner, I'm not sure if you know him. Austin, front and center. This is Austin Turner. He is a member of the community. He lives over on Oak, and he's in law enforcement, so that's why we thought it was beneficial to have him on board. So, thank you. Thank you, Austin. And then I have Gary, my husband, because when we lived in California and Texas, he was responsible for getting 2 other neighborhood watch programs going. So he has a lot of background that he can help us with. So with that, as I've said, with the diverse experience we have on the advisory council, we are moving forward very quickly, and we have come up with an organizational chart. Because of the uniqueness of our community, we have set an east side and a west side zone, so to speak, and we're asking for zone leaders. Shannon Gellhart has agreed to be our zone leader on the east side, and I will be asking them, but I haven't yet. That was supposed to be question marks up there, so I apologize. So, but if anybody is interested in being a zone leader on the west side, I'll certainly be interested in talking to you. I'm also, and then once we've got our zone leaders in place, then we'll be looking for 3 zone coordinators on each side, and then there'll be block captains and then members after that. And we felt that this was a more controllable way to get each zone started, because it depending just on block captains, that's a huge zone on east or west just for one person. We are asking that the key positions, if at all possible, be full-time members, just because they're here and have a thumb on the community better than if they're part-timers. But we won't turn part-timers away if they are interested in getting involved in any of these positions. And we are moving forward. We are not going to wait until everything is in place for every block captain, etc. As one is completed, they're up and running. And then the next one, and we're going for it this time. I'm also pleased we do have our own email address. Next slide.
Who does it?
Okay. We do have our own email address, inw2025@yahoo.com. And thank you to Austin for his work. We have a website and a QR code. I've laid some sheets around the room so you can capture the QR code today if you want to. When you use that QR code, you will be taken to the website, and we will have more information out there. We're building the website, so be patient, but there is some things out there already for you. So like I said, we're moving forward. I'm grateful to everybody we have on the council and the good ideas they have. So is there any questions? Nope. Good.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, to keep this thing on time so we can get out of here by 10 o'clock, I'll make this relatively quick.
really move in for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks. Not a lot to report on communications. I'm still doing what I've been doing, and that's the email blast. I'm still gonna do what's given to me, that's been given to me by whomever, clubs or everybody else on the board, that something that's important to go out, we'll do email blast. The text messaging, again, with the emails, we're still averaging everybody getting the emails that have an email address. Not everybody's been opening up this last quarter, might be because they're Gulf Shores for 8 weeks or whatever. But it's working where they are getting them and opening them. Text messaging, I will just tell you right now, with the roads, what a great way for me to tell you this road tomorrow will be shut down. That goes to your phone. So if you haven't signed up for text messaging, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the best thing going, in my opinion, because you get a quick thing on your phone. Oh, the damn road's closed. Oh, the damn road's open. Pardon me how I say that. Pardon me how I sent that one out with the N on it. Because I don't know if you noticed that, but I sent one out that said the dam was closed, D-A-M-N. And that was a typo, and I'm pretty good at making typos. So I would encourage you, please sign up for text messaging, but I can't put you in the system unless you give me permission to send it to you. If you want it, tell me, I'll put it in. A gentleman was here at the men's club meeting the other day, and he goes, I'd like to get on it. Got on the MailChimp, now he's gonna get them. So if you don't have it, I'm gonna tell you. I would do it especially with the roads, because now we can get it to you and get it to you quickly. Because you're gonna look at your phone a lot quicker than you're gonna go to your email and check your emails either on phone or on the computer. So please, email me at my email address. Say, I'd like to opt in for text messaging. And it's a simple thing to do. We're continuing, obviously, with smoke signal. We're continuing trying to add more things to it. We had one little thing to it that says, did you know? A lot of people just don't know. Did you know when you come get your boat stickers, you gotta have your insurance card with you? People are still coming up and wants their stickers, don't have their insurance card. Can't get stickers without an insurance card. So we're gonna continue to add more things to smoke signal to help communicate what's going on in our community. Website, I don't know, I like it. I haven't heard anybody complain about the new website.
You like, how's everybody else?
Yeah, what are you laughing at?
You.
I feel right at home. With the board too. Bob?
Yeah, Gary, got one question. You brought up a good point about the roads. Are you going to go out and notify people by text messaging, email, or both?
Both.
Do you have any idea how much of a lead time will it be? Tomorrow morning, we're going to work on this section of road, or 3 days from now?
We've got to work that out. It will not be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Whether it's
Last
a week in
minute, but
advance, whether
some
it's
kind of plan.
2 or 3 days, yeah.
Okay.
Well, just like yesterday, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna send out a reminder that we got a meeting again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so I did text and I did email.
Right.
And again, forgive me for spelling, forgive me for, email, Grammar, yeah, grammar. My proofreader wasn't at home to proofread it, which is my wife. She wasn't home, and I thought it looked good, and I sent it to her.
You were drinking.
I'm done, unless you have questions.
Okay, I got a question.
Tom.
If you're not on the text messaging, how can you do it?
Real easy. Go to the website, go to my email address, send me an email, say, Gary, I want to be on text messaging. And give it to me, right now, come up and give it to me, and I can do it that way too. But I'm telling you, when we were talking about that, I'm thinking, man, the roads, text messaging on your phone, road's gonna be closed in 2 days, and it's gonna affect you, so be aware. Great way to get quick information out to you. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Nancy? Now we'll go into the club updates. Nancy, you're up.
Little plotter afterwards. Left, right.
Hello, everyone. I'm not very good at speaking in big thing that scares the hell out of me, so bear with me.
You gotta speak louder, though, a little louder.
There's
There's a mic.
You wanna use the mic?
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm president of the Booster Club, and I'm going to do something a little unusual. We usually start out talking about the Booster Club. You all know the Booster Club. If you don't, you can meet me after the meeting, and I'll be more than willing to inform you. Today, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody here that has helped the Booster Club. Whether you're on the board, whether you're a member, whether you're a helper, or even join our activities. We can't do the Booster Club without you. So thank you very, very much.
Nancy, thank you for what you do.
Yes.
Also, we have the flyer, if you would like to go up and grab a flyer for the year's activities. It's over there. Also, we are working on the bricks being laid, the ones that have been bought. It's going to take a little bit where we have to order 50 more bricks. to go on the outside where need be. That's in the works. As soon as the weather is good, we should have the bricks and they will be down. It's been questioned a lot. Last is, we do have Family Days coming up in June. June 7th and the 21st is our Family Day. We have our 20th anniversary this year. It's a big event. It started 20 years ago with Larry Eberly. We have had many people that have started with the anniversary for Family Days, and some of them are gone, which is sad, but we want to thank everybody for coming and helping us with the Booster Club. Thank you.
Nancy.
What?
You got twisting of the boats, the 24th and 25th. It's the 25th.
It's the 25th?
You didn't tell me yet,
Yes,
so
I
that's.
did.
I'll put it on.
Okay, Lou, are you here? Thank you.
Plan every year, I know what it is.
That's Lou.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome all the ladies to the lake and to come and join the Ladies Auxiliary. We would love to have all of you join us. Some of our events that we have, you don't even have to be a member, so we'd really like to see you come out and be a part of us. Our next ladies meeting will be on May the 5th, Monday, here at the Community Center. We are having a luncheon where everybody will bring a salad and we'll share a salad. The board will provide desserts and drinks, and we would love to see you. After our luncheon at 12, we have our meetings at 12:30. We meet the first Monday of every month, so we'd love to see you even if you can't come in May. On Thursdays, we have the happy hour. It's a fun time for us ladies just to get together. And no, we don't sit there and talk about the board. We have a good time just socializing with the ladies. So we'd love to see you to join us to do that today. This next Wednesday, a bunch of us are going to go to lunch. It's called the Lunchables. We're going to Hawthorne Inn. Our reservation is at 11:45. If you're interested in coming, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to the Tilted Skillet, that's next month, sorry. We're going to the Tilted Skillet, which is also in Washington. Our reservation is at 11:45? Yeah. Okay. And, I'm sorry?
I have to have your name if you're going.
Right, I was gonna say that. So you need to just let Deb Dolan know if you'd like to join us, but we'd love to have you. Even those who live in St. Louis, you're welcome to come join us on these fun days that we go out and get together. The future, this summer, we're holding our rummage sale, our annual rummage sale. It will not be in May this year. It's going to be July 26th from 8 to 2 here at the Community Center. We'd like to have your stuff, but we don't want your clothes or your shoes, any big furniture. Please no dock ladders. Last year we got about 10 of them and it was really hard to get rid of them. Thank goodness it was on the same day as dumpster day because that was very helpful. And electronics. So our annual beach party this year that we put on every year to celebrate the lake itself will be August the 2nd. We'll have food trucks again, music, a dance contest, just a fun evening for everybody to come and get together as a community. Last year we put together our recipes for the lake cookbook. We still have them for sale. They're $20. You can buy them from me anytime, and the marina also has them for sale there. Just let me know if you want one or a whole bunch. Mother's Day's coming up, so it's a great time. We'll be having potlucks in June 27th and August 8th, and we hope that you will come and join us for those fun evenings also. It's a great socialization for the whole community to get together. Thank you.
Okay. Jim?
Thanks, Tom. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming today and supporting the board. We support the board, and as Tom has indicated, I think we're all the better for it, what's been going on. We meet
the first Saturday of every month here. I think our next meeting is May the 3rd. We usually meet 2 days before the ladies' monthly meeting. But we also meet on Wednesday afternoons here where we gather together. And some people call our gathering the prayer meeting. It's not really that, but that's a name that's stuck. So
Yes, it is. We pray that we don't run out of beer.
I thought it was at the
Wait a minute. I've never seen that happen.
I've seen that.
So, the gentlemen gather about 4 o'clock or so. We normally have somebody in the group that prepares food. It's a collaborative event, and we eat well most of the time. You know, the winter time, late fall, winter, early spring is sometimes difficult because a lot of people aren't here. Even those that live here aren't here. They're snowbirds. So people are getting back. Things are really starting to hop again. But we also support the Dart League. We have 5 boards back there, and we normally have somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 people involved in that. The league is just now finishing. We have the championship a week from this Wednesday, but we also have lead up to that this coming Tuesday. I don't know where I came up with Wednesday. I guess it's because I was talking about it. But that's what we do. We are having our pancake breakfasts, just like we always have on the Sunday of the 3 holiday weekends. You all have been incredible support for us over the years for that, and we look forward to that continuing. Those are really the only big events for the community that we have. Although this year, we are having another one. We've gotten a very generous donation of a band and a fella coming up from Louisiana with all the fixins for a big 20-gallon pot of jambalaya. And we're not charging for admission to this, the band. We're not going to charge for the food because it's being donated to us. We would like you to come and help us eat it. And if you feel compelled, there'll be a bucket for donations, and we would appreciate that very much. That's May the 31st. That's the week after the first holiday weekend.
I think it's important to mention that the band was funded and donated by the Marina, who has been gracious supporters of our organization.
That is very true. Marina's big help for us. We have our new water shower down at the lake. We paid for it. Eric put it together for us. And it's there, and it's ready to have the water turned on. It'll probably be turned on here in a couple of weeks. We have to make sure that everything else, that all the parts of it have survived through the winter, but it shouldn't be a problem. We also have provided a flagpole for the community. It's going to be right out here. It's going to go up within the next week or two. Those folks that are going to help us, and we're gone for the winter. So you might have noticed when you walked in a couple of boards on the ground there. That's where the new flagpole is going to be placed. And I want to thank Jim Booker for helping us pull the old one down and putting the new one up when the time comes. Jim, thank you very much. And I think that's it. One other thing. Last year, many of you all may remember that we were very involved in dock signs for your number. We can still do that. There's very few. If you'll look out there now when you get on the water, you'll see them all over the place, and we want to thank you all for that. I think if we can twist Daryl's arm a little bit, we can do a few more of them. But you need to let us know. And I just installed one last week, I think, when the weather was really nasty. It was fun. That's it. I know it's past 10 o'clock, Tom, thank you. No, that's fine, Jim, thank you. I guess we need it. Yes, Bob. Yes, sir.
Yes, I have one question. Are you thinking of doing similar signs for like street addresses?
Bob, we talked about that at some length, and at this point in time, we decided we weren't, well, it was about a year ago, we decided we weren't going to do it. There are other entities out here in the community that have done it in the past, and we just had our hands full, frankly, doing the ones on the lake, and we haven't gone back and revisited that conversation.
The only reason I asked, I thought the dock signs were kind of neat. Very attractive, very eye-catching. That's the only reason I asked about street signs.
Yes, we will talk about it. Come to our meeting on May 3rd, bring it up.
Volunteer.
No, I didn't.
Well, I think for street signs and stuff, you want them reflective. If you want like 911 people to, that's what the fire department at one time, keep fire.
And they still do. I have referred more than one person. There's a form that I have that you can also get from the Cuba Fire Department. They'll come out, they'll even install it for you for no extra charge.
There's your answer, Bob.
And it's reflective and.
There's your answer.
No, I'm thinking about the dock signs look so attractive for like,
Prettier, yeah.
you know, like a house sign or on your house or something like
Well,
that.
as Lord indicated, they're a bit more difficult to pull together because they have to be reflective, and they should be. All right, anything else? Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Bruce. At our meetings on Wednesday nights, we do talk about the board. But many of them are. Board members are there. Thank you, Jim, appreciate it, thank you very much. Just as we go through our wrap-up of the meeting, guys, we're just a couple minutes beyond our time, but just a few points I want to make as far as keeping going strong on the path forward. That's been my moniker since, taking this position. Maintaining our focus on lake restoration and road reconstruction is what we talked about. Actively supporting our club functions. As you can see, we have tremendous leadership in those roles, and I strongly recommend that you do that. And then, of course, staying safe and have fun as the boating season starts up. One thing I do want to bring up before I entertain any questions or comments is just a note that the board has drafted and like for me to read at this time. As we announced in early February, the board, by a unanimous vote, made the difficult decision to file a petition for a declaratory judgment concerning a dispute with the Lakeshore Marina. To be clear, the association is not suing the marina for monetary damages. We're asking the judge to determine the intent of the lease to resolve the dispute. This step was taken as a last resort after several letters, a face-to-face meeting in December, and a declined invitation in our February meeting.
I have the email that says I was coming to that Friday meeting, and I have Barry's response welcoming me to come before I got served.
Okay.
So you probably need to correct that.
Earlier this week, we received the marina's response to our judgment filing, and unfortunately, they have filed to sue the association, requesting a minimum of $25,000 and any other such and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Both our original declaratory judgment filing as well as their answer can be found and viewed in casenet.mo, which everyone has access to. We will continue to keep you updated if there's any changes relative to that. All right. So, wrapping up, any further questions or comments? All right. Yes, Bob.
Can you go a little bit, give us some background about the marina litigation effort? I understand it has something to do with the boat ramp.
Barry, how do you want to?
It has to do with the boat ramp. The best advice I would give to you is to go to casenet.mo. You'll be able to see our filing, which details everything in there, as well as what the marina's response to that is. There was also an email that we sent out in October, November, that detailed the complete incidents.
All right. Any other questions or comments? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.